Hello everyone. It is so early in Los Angeles. As you guys may have known, or if you follow my channel, Tuesdays and Thursdays I have to wake up at 5:30 and I have to hit the road. But I want you guys to see. This is what it looks like. An orchestrated June gloom, right? Anyways, I get sick of talking about wait, let me make sure that my dashboard had the AC and not the heater so I don't cook my phone. Anyways, I get sick of, sorry, there we go. I get sick of, we do get sick of, Aaron. Just the weather changes and the lies that follow through. It's like yesterday they kept saying the marine layer all of a sudden. The thick marine layer. It's finally here. It's stronger than ever. It's fighting the heat. And it's like, sometimes I love that new word everyone's saying is bish, B-I-S-H, bish. Anyways, so it's just kind of strange to me how we had a heat wave for what, 3 or 4 days? And then here we are with clouds and marine layer and it's 60 degrees. So why is there a 30-degree difference? You know what I mean? To be exact, I believe 33 degrees. But that's just what these people who think they're in control do with us. They tweeter with our mind. They F with our minds. And for those who's not aware of it, I guess it's a blessing in disguise to them because they think, oh, it's June gloom. And they don't really put the science behind, you know, in 2 weeks from now is summer. And summer is really where the sun comes down into a solar maximum, or goes up to a solar maximum, right? So there shouldn't be a heat wave right now. And coincidentally, there was a wildfire yesterday, 2 wildfires in particular places. And I always tell people when there's wildfires, just look at the video camera. Fires don't travel in straight lines, you know? Like sometimes I just don't even want to say anything anymore because when you know too much, when you channel truths and you know the truth, sometimes it's like it's irrelevant to say anything because people will defend lies for all of eternity, you know. Speaking of which, so I was on Naughty Beaver's post yesterday. Sorry for the smacking. I have an attitude today. But yeah, so I was on Naughty Beaver's. He posted a video. I'll include it in my description box. But the thing that I have an issue with, yes, I mean not with him, but in general senses, are the council and the constituents when they deliver these prophecies and channel messages and visions and whatnot. Why don't they ever just be? Well, I kind of know why, but it would just be nice if they can lay out, you know, we can bend the rules. We're co-creators. We can edit the future, right? We can Mandela effect ourselves into another timeline. We could timeline jump. We could, you know, I still believe that, you know, there is no Battle of Armageddon. I don't believe fireballs are going to hit the earth. And when they do, I will stand corrected. But who are we to be in the present time predicting and predicting and predicting and guessing and looking and waiting, and we don't see anything. Then all of a sudden, bam, when everything happens, oh my gosh, I knew it was gonna happen. I just calculated everything wrong. But I told you it was gonna happen. See, like, for me, I did that twice on accident. I predicted 2 things and I said it out loud. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I did put out a couple of dates of 2 things, and it didn't happen. And I questioned, not myself, but I questioned what had happened 24 hours before, a Mandela effect, or I had a deja vu. And a lot of times when you deja vu, you basically jump a timeline or you edit the future for some odd reason. There's ways, it means that the science makes sense. I posted a video last year about how deja vu is basically an essential tool for editing the future. Like, if it was meant for you to go to jail and you had a dream about when you finally went to jail, kind of like my dream yesterday, and when you had a deja vu, like I did in the late evening yesterday, the dream that I had met me, or sorry, the physical situation met my eyes before I went to jail, like in my dream. So therefore, I just kind of fixed and edited the timeline, because you set things in stone by your actions, but then when you vision yourself, if that makes any sense, it's kind of like when you're driving on the freeway like I am now, and you had a destination you're supposed to go to, right? Santa Monica. But then there was a car accident that happened. If you have GPS, it will tell you right when it happens, so that you have more time to change your route, right? So if you go blindsided forward without your GPS on, it won't tell you accident ahead, faster route available. So I was on Naughty Beaver's video yesterday. I made a comment because his post was about this war with Iran, and Nostradamus prophesied it. And Nostradamus has been on point with his prophecies. But Nostradamus never really left a trace for anybody to figure out what the hell is he talking about. Naughty Beaver is graced with the gift of channeling and utilizing the gift of empatheticness, the gift of discernment. He has the gift of prophecy, and he has the gift of channeling messages. I think he is a New Age prophet. I definitely know he was an apostle of the past. And I definitely know for a fact that Nostradamus' drawing of the turtleback character is Naughty Beaver. So it's kind of cool when someone is learning their life journey, and they end up being a very pivotal, what's the word I'm looking for? Pivotal, like, just an essential element in showing the future and where we're going. So anyways, my comment was very sweet and simple. Though it looks like all this war, and I have a yawn coming. Woo! Though it looks like all this war and blah blah and blah is coming, and that's just the way that these people who think they're in control, the powers that think they be, they love to mock history. We've seen it. They love to mock God. They love to mock religion. They love to, they've been painting this whole canvas of everything. The mass shootings, the terrorism, war, All for what? Profit. And in the story of Mercury, the Greek god Mercury, it laid out like the plan of how to do it. And so as I'm watching the comments of these people comment to what I said was, we are co-creators. We can always alter the future. I didn't say change, I said alter the future. Because if you think that war is going to happen, you're going to die of radiation, and that's all you concentrate on, guess what? You're going to effing die of radiation. You're trying to bring war to the current reality so you can have an exit plan out of the matrix. And that's not fair. You can't ask to get off of this plane. You can't ask to get out of this dome. You gotta wait just like everybody else. You gotta wait. You have to wait till the king of all kings comes down and makes his final judgment. That is in scripture, and that's in prophecy, but it's not saying the king of all kings will arrive at this, because when you pinpoint exactly how and when things happen, guess what? It never does happen the way that it does. So this is why the rapture hasn't happened yet. You know, this is why many people predicted the rapture. And I have a brother who, not a real brother, but a brother in spirit who I follow his videos, and every week is a whole different prediction date. And I'm like, bro, you gotta stop predicting this date. You got. And I told, there was a female from Norway. She was doing a lot of great videos, and then she started predicting too. And it was like, tomorrow's the day, everyone. Tomorrow's the day. We are going home. And then tomorrow will come and we are still here. Either these people are creating timelines and getting out of here. But every time that you do that, you're messing with the future. And you're altering the future. And every time you Mandela effect, you're altering. There's, like, we really don't have a clear future. I think the sign in heaven, the Revelation 12 sign, was so key to watching it happen and being a witness to it happening, because it put everything right back in alignment, and then we went right off alignment again. I think that's on purpose. You know, we drive on the freeway, the lane tells you exactly where to go, but if someone cuts you off while you're in direction, guess what? You have to merge to the next alignment and persist forward. It's just the way things go. So I just don't understand why people were so angry with me yesterday. Like, your post is full of, like, nothing. And the way that, you know, you addressed everything is like nothing. Or someone was like, I highly doubt it. You know, it's prophecy. And I was like, okay, well, read the Greek story of Mercury. And I got this because I was watching Kaypatcha's video, Astrology of the Soul. And this is why I love Kaypatcha. B, I love, like, my whole YouTube experience, because everything comes to center, everything comes to self, everything comes to consciousness. And when you're fixated on something, it comes to you, it co-creates. So this is like proven fact. Oh boy, I have a lot to post to you guys. So I'll start with how Kaypatcha at 11 minutes had mentioned, because I wasn't even thinking he was going to talk about Mercury at all. He was just talking about how Pluto, Saturn, Mars, and Mercury make a kite, and Earth is in the center, and it's a lot of battles going on between a lot of people, a lot of excuse my language, a lot of shit. Excuse my language. I love cursing. It feels like, No, but there's a lot of shit going on. But he was talking about how Mercury was a thief, and Mercury tricked people, and Mercury had one foot in heaven and one foot in hell, or in the underworld. And Mercury was kind of like the usher of the souls waiting for, somewhere to go, and he would put them in the underworld. It was like Anubis was the same way. And then I was thinking about the imagery of Mercury having the two wings on its head and the wings on the feet. And, eventually when Mercury became Hermes, and they intertwined, and Thoth, Toth, Doth came in the mix, and they all became the ancient Hermetics, which we all follow now. So it's very important that if we're following ancient Hermetics, and we're using like their symbols in medical, the two coiled snakes with the wings on the top, there's something that's telling us a message. And that's why I kind of love my life journey, because I've studied so much, and it's so important to reflect to the history of how the hell did we get here, and what's all of that, and blah blah and blah. And also too, like when you read the Bible, if you guys can go into history and try to read what had happened, or what documents were printed, or what ancient discoveries happened 1,000 years before the Bible, you actually find out Sumeria was here, Western civilization, ancient Mesopotamia, the Greek War, the Olympians, the Atlanteans, the Pleiades. So the Battle of Armageddon, in my opinion, already happened. The serpent was already destroyed. Everything that the Bible tells you is basically what had happened at that time. It was an instruction manual to leave to the fallen angels what had occurred after they, I guess, had amnesia. If you were flooded out and if hell and chaos happened to you and you woke up in 2019, like, what the hell happened? You have a manual that tells you what happened. So prophecy and whatnot, it is real, it is legit. I do think we'll still see more Bible prophecies fulfilled, but prophecy being fulfilled only means that we're on an alignment right now. It doesn't mean that, a 10-headed beast, blah blah and blah, is going to come out the ocean, and we're all going to see Godzilla, come in. But see, like, when you think about movies and all that come out, like this Godzilla movie came out, it was like, what the hell? I always think that, like, it's just kind of not a coincidence that you have a God of Monsters movie come out at the same pivotal time as Iran is stirring up drama to say there's a war about to happen with the U.S. But if the U.S. compromises with Iran, it can change the whole course of the future. So there's a compare and contrast and a parallel with the Godzilla movie and Naughty Beaver's post. That's what I saw. I saw the Godzilla movie, that's why. I don't know, everyone was so, like, against, like, well, there's some people that are very supportive, and thank you all who are supportive of what I said. I really do think that if you don't have rules in place, if you don't have things set in stone, you'll never follow the rules. You'll never know what order is, and you never know how to control yourself. You'll never have self-competence, or social competence for that matter. So it's very important to, have two different perspectives. I do see the Bible being useful, and the Bible, but the thing is, when I was so fully into Christianity because my family forced me to, and we studied so much, that was my current, that was my timeline on my current. It was my timeline. And I was talking to a friend yesterday about his name is Aaron and my name is Aaron, and long story short, oh, my battery's dying. No. So long story short, Aaron was talking about why Moses was basically the voice for Moses, because Moses had a speech problem. He had a speech impediment. And that could show you, like, clearly what nationality Moses was. And that can really just help show people a different perspective, that copper people were of the Hebrew culture, and now is the Jewish group of people. Not discounting anybody, not taking away from anybody, but you think about in terms of articulation, there's only one nationality that really had to work on enunciation. It's just kind of what it is. Long story short, Aaron was telling me that, you know, Aaron was the bearer of, you know, having to step in and speak from his heart, and everyone wanted to listen to what the guy with the speech impediment had to say about these 2 tablets he brought down from a mountain, because a voice in his head told him to go up there and get it. I didn't make up this story, I'm just translating it. So Moses, in the long story short, the voices were in his head, it drove him crazy. He couldn't even speak clearly because these voices in his head were talking so much. And the proof of how you know that's not God is, you think about all these songs. If you guys do this for fun, Google search song lyrics, voices in my head, and you will be so freaking surprised how many songs talk about voices in my head. And they will all tell you that it was the darkness that was speaking to their mind, that it told them, even like what's her name, Dia Lupa, New Rules. I love that song. I'll never get sick of it. And she goes, I'm talking in my sleep at night, making myself crazy, out of my mind. So you see how self is out of mind, but being of self, there's voices in your head. And a lot of singers will say, like, don't listen to those voices in your head, because they will lead you down the wrong path. And if you really just want to know, in a nutshell, in history, Yahweh is not Yahuwah, Yahushua. It's not your God. It's not, you know, it's not Yaldabaoth either, king of Babylon. Yahweh was the serpent. He was the wisdom holder, right? Not me. But he was the one that basically, you know, knew what to plant and what seeds to plant where. And Eve fell for it. Noah fell for it. He attempted Jesus after, you know, some time. You look at all the, this piggybacks my video from yesterday. You look at all the different Eastern cultures and Eastern tradition that have the serpent or the dragon in its logo, and that can easily show you and tell you that that was the influence of Yahweh, or also Inki, because Inki was also the serpent. Enlil was the sky, and Lil could easily be Lucifer, and Lil could also be Zeus, and Lil could also be, oh, I have to plug in my charger. So I have to cut this video short. I'll make a part 2, but I just wanted to show everybody that, yeah, there is a possibility to alter, you can alter the future. It's like making modifications so that you don't really see doom and gloom. You see a path of righteousness, to piggyback what I said yesterday. So It's a rabbit hole, but if you guys are cool with it, you'll start with the first video, which was Kaypatcha's reference to Mercury. At 11 minutes, you start it. Or if you want to know the whole sheboygan, start from scratch and hear what he says. I love Kaypatcha because he gives you the Paley report where the alignments are in the cosmos and how it affects your zodiac sign. Then it goes to the story of Mercury. And then I'll go to what Naughty Beaver's post was. And you guys can look at how these people were taking jabs at your boy. How dare they? But it's cool. It's all good. I forgive. And I love. And I'll always forgive and love because I know people who are not as awakened or not as receptive to change will defend the lies, will defend reality, and that's the reality they'll land in. And I'll make a part 2 right now, and I'll talk about how people live on 2 different earths, because that's what I was supposed to say 2-3 videos ago, and I didn't. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.